big news right now. Southern University's head football coaching job is vacant after last week's news that Dawson Odom was moving on to Norfolk State. Coach Banks, of course, is the AD over at Southern and in charge of making that decision. We bring him into the conversation now here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Good morning. Doing great, man. How you doing this morning?
Doing very good. First off, before we talk about what's going on with you presently, let's talk about the news of a spring football season that wrapped up for the entire sport, for the entire division. What did you make of spring football and how it was executed and what you guys took away from it?
Well, obviously, it was good to get people back into some sense of normalcy. I think it was great for the student athletes. I thought we learned a great lesson from the teams that played in the fall. Obviously, we had a couple of stoppages due to COVID, but we were able to get our games in. I think from Southern University's standpoint that we did very well as it relates to being able to play with our student athletes and testing. So we're excited what we were able to accomplish, and obviously it was an exciting season. Our fans really enjoyed it. Our TV ratings was great, so we're pleased about it.
Do you expect to be playing in the fall, or do you expect something like this to maybe maintain and stay steady?
Certainly expect 100% to be playing in the fall. I think that we understand this virus better. I think the vaccines give us a chance to all be vaccinated to get to some type of immunity. I think if we all continue to move forward and do these things and CDC guidelines because of these vaccines are letting us do a little bit more, we're very excited about the fall, anticipate 100% being ready to go. Now, we may be in mask from a fan standpoint, and I think some of the regulations will still be in place, but we plan on being able to tailgate and move forward.
Dawson Odom spent 9 years in Baton Rouge on the Bluff. He was as respected of a coach as you could find in the sport. He resigned last week and took the Norfolk State job. I know that he was a good friend of yours without the professional relationship that you guys had. He was also a good friend of yours. Can you talk about what he brought to Southern University and the accomplishments he leaves behind as he moves on?
Yeah, good man, great coach. Sometimes, we only won the championship in 2013, but we won our divisions 4 times, I think 13, 14, 18, 19 under him. And he's a man of character. He's a guy that inherited the job through some tough times at Southern, but some of the transition phases that we went through with an unusual data ban with the NCAA and was able to march us right through. Great graduation rate, a man of character. You never hear about our programs under any type of scandal. A very good man, a personal friend of mine. I think he was a leader in our athletic department, and we're going to miss him very much. He's part of this Southern University family. We all make decisions for different reasons, and in our conversation, I understand the opportunity that he had and at this point in life where he was at. And so, our relationship will continue to be good, and we support him from afar.
What is the criteria that you are looking to fill when finding his replacement?
Well, right now we're in such a tough space going through a spring. Right now, we'll be kicking back off, getting ready to start here very, very soon. And, you're going to have someone come in that brings some great chemistry. I think it's hard for anyone to come in and put in a system. You usually do those things through the spring. We had all spring. And so, we're in a tough situation about what direction to go in right now. So we're interviewing a lot of people. And, I'm looking at it from a couple of different standpoints. As we continue to interview a good pool of candidates, I think in a sense it may not be as fair to Southern University because a lot of people that are interested are tied in the contracts and have a commitment to their programs this late in the game. And if this was November, December, January, I think it'll be different. But we have to really look at it from a professional standpoint. You can't get emotional about making this decision right now, talking about, hey, we're going to get this person or that person to talk about winning a press conference. You got to do the best thing for the program and the student athletes right now.
One of the names, and I know that you can't speak specifically just because the job is still open, but Marshall Faulk's name has been floated that he has interest. There are examples around your conference and around football that you and I have discussed both on and off the air, with Deion Sanders being over at Jackson State and Eddie George being brought into Tennessee State. I don't know if you can speak about Faulk's interest to the Southern job specifically, but have you thought about what that route could look like at Southern University if you were to bring in a big name without yet the experience or the resume that you may be looking for?
Yeah, so we had, first of all, we've spoken to his camp, his agent, his team. We've been in communication just like a lot of other people. And we look at it from that. Those are one of the options that we know we have, being able to land someone that perhaps don't have any coaching experience and also collegiate experience. And so those are some of the things that as a group, as a committee, that we look at this particular time, is that healthy for the program. And so there's a lot of different scenarios, like I said, but obviously he brings a lot of impact to the program just by who he is and what he's been able to accomplish. So
he's interested?
Yes.
Wow. When do you look to have this thing filled?
Without putting a timetable on it, because I just think that we have to get it right, but we do look at, in my eyes, of having this thing closed by the end of this week.
What is the positive? When you look at that model, Coach, that they're rolling out in Jackson, that they are trying to get into at Tennessee State, have you learned something from that model just after watching it for a year or less than a year in active, whether it be on the field or it be the promotion and interest around the program?
Yeah, but I think I learned a lot. I think that you look at things from afar, and obviously I think it depends on programs and university. So I think Southern University football is its own brand.
Sure.
I think we happen to be at one of the best places when you're talking about football programs at all levels. And I think that, when you're able to, at Southern, continue to win, we have a following in place. We have support in place. And so, though what I see, what Jackson State have done, it may work for them, it may not work for us. Those are just, I think, the decisions, and we have to weigh all our candidates out at this particular time. What's best for this particular time might not have been best for us if we had this opportunity to do this in December or January.
Yeah.
A lot of different dynamics. You're talking about retaining your own student athletes right now. We know the transfer portal is crazy, and we do have a team of juniors and seniors coming back that we have a chance to be in place. And from a fundamental standpoint, you don't want to disrupt that either. And so there are a lot of questions. And then you tell a coach, do you let a coach bring in their own staff, or you say, hey, you need to keep a few guys on our staff, and that can cause some chemistry problems. And so you have to be patient. You got to work with intensity, but you got to lay it all on the line. What's best at this particular time? And so I'm happy to be at a place that have a brand of its own, where I'm just concerned about getting the right person for this time.
Coach Roman Banks, Southern University Athletics Director, great light being shed on the search for the Southern University head football coach, which comes with a tremendous amount of interest when you just talk about that job being vacant in the sport right now, and Coach Banks and his staff are going through the process of getting that filled. We appreciate the insight and letting us in this morning, Coach. I know it's a busy time for you. Thank you for a couple of minutes here on a Wednesday.
Yeah, I appreciate you very much. Look forward to speaking with you after we hire our candidate.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coach. There is Coach Banks. Wow. I mean, is Marshall Faulk interested? Yes.
Have we talked to him? Yes.
Okay. All right, there it is. There's Roman Banks, Athletics Director, giving us the latest on what is going on with the Southern job.
As usual.
That is unbelievable, man. Marshall Faulk is a true player for the opening up there. Wow. I mean, whew. Marshall Faulk in Baton Rouge is the head coach at Southern.